To be black and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage. All black everything. It's your girl Maya, and I'm coming to you with another video. I'll be doing this one by myself, but I'm like really excited about doing it. Like when I came up with the idea, I was just like, oh, this gonna be a hot video. Like, yes, people are gonna love it. And I really do hope that you guys enjoy it, because I know I enjoyed everything that's included in it. Like when everything was sent in, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing. Okay, so I came up with the idea to get black poets and spoken word artists to come up with a piece about what it means to be black to them. And I came up with the idea because, one, I love poetry. Poetry has always been something that I use to communicate, just a way for me to express myself, to express anything that was on my mind, anything that was on my heart. And there's just so much going on in the world that it's crazy that we're still dealing with a lot that our ancestors had to deal with. And I just knew that contacting black poets and spoken word artists about this topic would be amazing. And like, I was just super excited to contact them and just ask them to just express to me how they feel, and express to the world how you feel about the situation. Some people may not care, but at the end of the day, you got people who agree with you, people who may actually listen to you now. So that's why I'm like really, really, really excited about this video, and I hope you guys enjoy all the pieces as much as I did. So here you go.
The day he died. It's what I figure. To be your response, if you honestly answer me asking you how often you heard your grandfather conveniently and vehemently refer to black people as niggers, and you have the uncouth and uncultivated lowliness of class to still look up to this bigot, and your only admission to racism is, I don't feel it, and your primary thought on slavery is, why don't they just forget it? But mention you forgetting 9/11 and you explode with redneck sarcasm and hissy fitting. Publicly, you never admit it, but you subconsciously believe that a 7-foot tall, 360-pound black man has less stature than a white midget. Some of your ancestors prided themselves as being coon trappers, and they casually shared with you at former dining room tables over Sunday dinners after moving church services fond memories of the Skinners. They blamed the media for spreading hate because what they call crowd control, the media called lynching. They also believe that outsiders should mind their own business. They take pride in not being magicians, but making opponents to their way disappear without a witness. This is 2020, and one down in Georgia just said he's against black and white relationships because it ain't Christian. If you don't have the cognitive wherewithal to see that George Floyd was murdered solely because he is black, part of your brain is missing. Trump supporters so partisan and retarded they can't see that he's the epitome of division. Fox News got him spewing untruth so stupid it almost hurts to listen. My flesh wants to open casket and material you for your Colin Kaepernicking, and for the arrogant, privileged police brutality video accounts you give as a blind eyewitness. I promise you that if a war ever starts, I'm already enlisted. I know Malcolm died at 65, but he's still alive in my system. The Malcolm after the Mecca pilgrimage who stopped judging based on skin color, so don't get it twisted. My animosity is not directed towards a race, but towards a mental sickness. We got to figure out a way to make this thing pivot, or there's coming some days reminiscent of Hitler's. And today's blacks ain't the ones of the past in which elderly blacks fear for their safety if they didn't address teenage whites as Mr. and Mrs. I pray this to be a righteous hate so as to keep the glory of the Lord lifted. I thank Jesus for Calvary blood, repentance, and forgiveness in case I've missed it.
Love really does outweigh the hate. Would you agree? It's some things in your life love I got to store it. Ain't call it black girl magic, but there's no magic potion. Noose around our necks, noose around our necks, noose around our text, noose you lose the bet. I can't remember the last time I wasn't at capacity. I still remember how they used to bully and laugh at me. I watched my own brother being carried down from stairs and die so tragically. Let me say that again. I watched my own brother carried down from stairs and die so tragically. I've seen so many tragedies. So no, I don't know. I don't know how long I've been at capacity. But I know I've arrived whether or not the people of the world wants me to think that I'm free. So blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are those whose hearts have been torn. We are here, we've arrived. The movement has been born.
Call me out by the color of my skin. Try using me as a prop. Sitting me on your shelf to fit your status quo. No, it won't work. I have a voice. It makes noise, designed to be heard. It speaks volumes when I achieve my highest goals, and it speaks volumes when my failures try to rear its ugly head. I am a prospect, being sought out by the legends of the civil rights movement and the revolution. Adopted into a family of no-nonsense people who would challenge the abusers of America. I decided that I will go back and forth with you, going tit for tat about why you should respect my person before you ask me for my license and registration, or before you act as if my life doesn't matter. See, what you fail to realize is my silence does nothing, but my anger will speak volumes. Since you decided to say nothing about the wrongs of today, but you have an opinion about everything else, I will voice my opinion by saying this. Mind your business. Mind the business that pays you when I am walking to my car after a long day of work, after a long day of solving everyone else's issues. If I get defensive, it's probably because what I have going on in my life is none of your concern. So injecting yourself into my affairs, our affairs, only adds to a long list of things you do wrong. For instance, shooting Black people while we are walking, laughing, standing up for ourselves, being at home, jogging, driving, or even existing adds to a long list of issues that have been issues for years. I've come to my own conclusion. You are insecure, weak, and most importantly, ignorant to the fact that we will still rise. Call me out by my Blackness, and when you do, attach my name to the melanin you see glisten when the sun rises. After you do that, make sure you mention my credentials. Make sure you call me out by my Black skin, my name, and add all of my accolades to it. College degree, law degree, 3 books written, a small business owner, motivational speaker, spoken word artist, influencer, and a dope human being all before 30. Recognize me. Understand you are talking to an educated Black girl from Camden, New Jersey, a graduate of 2 HBCUs and proud to represent where I come from, a supporter of her community, an advocate for small business owners, and always proud to say I'm Black. So when you see the protests, the attitudes, and the aggression, understand how tired we are, how knowledgeable we are, how proud we are to say we are Black, united, and determined to get it right. So when you call me out by my Blackness, attach my name to it, and make sure you recognize who you talking to.
Ode to Black. Black is who I was, who I am, and who I will always be, that I need to embrace the original funk that could never be replaced nor removed from the space of God's face. I am Black. Since I was a teen and all the years in between, I was in survival mode. That's why I write this ode, to show that what was once known as dark became the light. So you can watch the timeline unfold. The main goal that stuck was to act Black as look, until my mind began to mold while on this topsy-turvy road. Behold, in adolescence, I didn't really understand what it meant for this melanated skin to be a blessing, was resting on the thought that the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice meant, as long as you had a fatty, everybody would want to taste you. Would chase boo, because I didn't really know my daddy. So go figure, the statistics seem true. I would wish that Geppetto would yank my strings to the rhythm and make me look ghetto. Could I even be a vixen that I would see on a TV screen? Nah, because my hips weren't round and my back was flat jello, and my brother couldn't be a real negro unless he was toting a piece or was hooping like Carmelo. Ironically, I still wished I was a little more yellow. So to balance it all out, I tried to seem like I was real mellow. Don't you know? It broke my heart. Nearly tore it apart when they said, she acts so white. All because I could recite facts of science and mathematics, pieces of literature in my sleep at night, because my mama ain't play. She kept educational values real tight, like that clarinet ligature. Don't get it twisted. I would sure get busted if I missed it. And although I was gifted, I was still in this plight of trying so hard that it didn't seem right. Okay. All right. Maybe I go to a PWI. Surely I would stand out in a place like that. Only 20 of us out of thousands? Surely they know I was black. Just keep my nicest kicks intact. They talk slick. I'ma clap back. Side note. Was so caught up in this crap. Tell me why I didn't even know I could rap. But God is good, because if I knew my lyrics really slapped, I would have never graduated and spit till my lips went chapped. But then, something began to click. Having to combat every hick who thought he was slick between every bick I flicked. They were burning every cross in my mind, trying to get me to tick. No diss. But a fat butt wasn't going to sit me out of this. Yellow complexion wasn't going to reel me out the piss. Emerson was talking to me. I was being grilled by the abyss, splashed by muddy waters from every bus I missed. And whenever I caught it, didn't even want to sit in the back because it seemed all too ironic. I was tired. Forget this. I'ma just do me. And in that lied my victory. I bounced back so all could see my resiliency. I was black. Spit my facts in class, was so intelligent and was meant to be. I was black. Got them grades they wanted. Hit the stage like it was easy. I was black. So amazing. Made them want to tase me, but I did it all legally. I was black. Couldn't slack around me because every noose them hoes hung on a tree. I was still proud to be black. They nearly panic attacked when I walked across the stage with not 1, but 2 degrees. Nigga, my cap and gown was black. Like, who's the chick? You know, the blackie showing out from Kakalaki? I don't know, but she's black. These were superpowers I didn't know I had. For if I did when I was a kid, whole time I'd have been glad to know I didn't have to be bad. Didn't have to be sad when my granddad let me walk out the house with striped pants and a shirt that was plaid. Tight jeans, crop tops, Air Force fashion. That was just a fad. If I never had a real pair of J's, I could slip on Easy Spirit sneakers, meme I found in an ad, and march in a protest and pump my fist like I was mad. See, that reaching I was doing before was as bad as blackface. A foolish high that I was chasing when this wasn't even a race. That blackberry, though sweet, can start with a bitter taste. So, black is what I was, who I am, and who I will always be. that I need to embrace. The original funk that could never be replaced nor removed from the space of God's face. I am black.
And living colored. We are in an undeclared war with skin tones lighter than ours. You see, skin tones lighter than ours have turned our world into a war zone. Streets have become battlefield. No one should know how it feels to be hated for the color of skin that sits upon your bones. You sit upon your thrones and use our fathers, brothers, and sons for target practice. Predator and prey upon our blackness. It seems like hunting season is year round. And we are the deer being shot to the ground for the sake of being just who we are. Black without choice. And if you're not taking our lives, you're trying to silence our voice. It's apparent that our freedom of speech ain't never been free, and neither have we since the emancipation of slavery. There was Jim Crow and his laws of segregation. Had Willie lynching our niggas for recreation. Let's not fail to mention our women that you are raping, the emasculation and buck breaking. It's funny how we're not good enough to love and respect, yet the perfect candidate for sex. America, when will we ever be good enough for you? How many more Trayvon Martins or Ahmaud Arbery's will it take? Shall it cost us another heartbreak before you tell your people to cease fire? To stand down? If they were as eager to love as they are eager to shoot, then progress wouldn't be such a slow process, and black people could finally put our hands down. Please, don't shoot when you see. You'd rather quote Miranda's rights than to acknowledge the rights that belong to me, that belong to people that look just like me, as black as can be. We've been brave in this land, but we still ain't free. Still oppressed by the weight of white supremacy. Colin can't kneel on a field, but it's okay for a white cop to kneel on G. Now, not only his family, but the entire black nation feels another void. Sleep in peace, Black King George Floyd, and the ones who went before you. You couldn't breathe and they ignored you. As a mother living in color, I adore you. And I understand the facts. They don't really hate you, but they feel the power in the mind of a man that's black. They fear the rise of a nation with strength to carry this world on our backs. And we have done just that. From the cotton field to the White House where Obama left his tracks. And Trump won't acknowledge that he is walking in that black man's path and standing in his shadow. You can't expect America to be great again when the president is so damn shallow. You want to know why we riot? You want to know why we loot? Well, dear white people, we learned that behavior from you. But our reasons are not the same. Hatred propelled the destruction of Black Wall Street, but we riot because we're in pain. 1 million men didn't march on Washington in vain. It was a movement demanding change. America, it's time for you to change. My black people are hurting with one another. But you will never see that pain in our eyes because you're still choosing not to see color. We didn't have a choice in living colored. How can the life of a K9 dog be more valuable than the life of my brothers? Sean Bell, Eric Garner, Freddie Gray, Philando Castile. You didn't even give us a chance to heal before our sisters started getting killed. Ayanna Jones, Tatiana Jefferson, Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland. Tamir Rice was only 12 years old with a snowball and a pellet gun in his hand. This is a premeditated genocide of the most beautiful people of this land. God's chosen. First the Jews, now the blacks. We can't breathe. We can't breathe. We can't live. We can't do nothing but state the facts. They don't see us as people, but as animals. So they lock us in a cage. They don't respect us. They don't love us. So they're passing out hate. The quality of equality is unequal in all of its forms. Hatred is an unnatural disaster, and justice is a man-made storm. I declare that America is in a state of emergency because hateism and racism cannot continue to be the norm. To my black people, I feel you. Black men, I love you. Black women, I am you. Though they can't stand you, I stand with you. We are a monument together. Our black is beautiful. Our minds are powerful. Our voices are loud. They fear our unity more than they hate our melanin. So don't ever stop telling them that I am black and I am proud. No justice, no peace.
Today has been exhausting. I woke up in a mood to paint, yet while deciding what to put on the canvas, I was constantly confronted with visions of our injustices, outlines of our people constantly laid out on concrete pavements, men shot dead, women shot dead, kids shot dead, all riddled with lead because their skin threatens you. How are you not tired of seeing these images too? They are brutally beaten and held down because you won't take the chance to get to know the person in front of you as different from the messages that have been passed down. Do you remember playing telephone? The message was rarely right when it got to the end. And we still see that you haven't gone to the source and gained a new friend. You're threatened by a color. You would think you had a logical reason to make such an assumption. We all made blended creations from color. Yet, the only time we're on the same page is when the Crayola box makes us stand together to show the beauty of our shades. All of the social media posts are exhausting for me. You would think that it touches some part of your heart, your psyche. Hell, do you have feelings? Being an artist, being a singer, being an actress. Art exposes other races to the awesomeness of the black culture and the people behind it. Very few can be called friends. They see my talent and my color and embrace it. They see me as human. They see that we have more in common than what's different. They see that there are differences, yet willing to discuss and share their ignorances. I'm exhausted seeing people gunned down for our various shades of brown, whipped and beaten and laughed at when we're no longer able to stand our ground. I'm exhausted, feeling the pain of my people, who have to think twice about going to the store to care for their family, who have to think twice about going to work to make an honest living, who have to think twice about sitting in their own home, who have to think twice about stepping outside their front door. I love a black man. I love a black child. I love a black woman. I love my black smile. So many smiles have turned into frowns because we are exhausted. We're tired of being gunned down. Son, these are the days of our lives. And life for you as a young black man may not be easy. There's no pain that a mother has to endure like one of a grieving mother. I never want that feeling. But in these days, I have to try to give you the knowledge to live your life daily and come home safely. No one ever teaches a mother how to mother. You see examples and listen to your gut and those nagging intuitions as they sound louder and louder. It's one thing to teach my son how to be a gentleman, responsible and respectful. It's another thing to teach him how to keep his hands visible, don't talk back, and don't look threatening, even when you're 10 years old and no longer considered just handsome. Seeing my son's eyes light up at the sound of emergency vehicle sirens, yet wondering if the call is for a black man murdered and lifeless, or a young mother defending her home, in which her kids are left motherless, in a world that needs the tender love and care of none other than a mother. All my son wants to do is go outside and play. Yet I'm afraid to let him do that because someone may be filled with hatred, or think that his Nerf gun is an AK hidden behind his back, or a remote control car for him to play. The bright orange and electric blue colors bear no semblance to that of seeing blue and red flashing lights and a pain-paralyzed mother, fighting to find the right words for a child she carried for 9 months, fighting for the life of a son she did her best to raise to be respectful and filled with promise, fighting for answers to a rigged test. Because we're constantly tested, yet never pass the test because we're meant to fail. Because the practitioners never planned for us to succeed. They never planned for us to even make it. They never wanted us to read and write anyway. They wanted us to give them free labor and make their babies and care for their babies and be nature's mother. Yet we still have our babies taken away on a different kind of auction block. Sometimes it's on our own accord, and sometimes we have no real chance at proving our case. So it's out of our hands how much we're sold for, and if it's a temporary or long-term stay. No corner office with your own personal assistant, but in the hole, in a corner, with an occasional mother's touch through a glass, and shared living space with no possibility of a promotion. Being a grown woman, my mother still worries. From the day you began growing in my belly, we began worrying. I hold you tighter. I say I love you more often. Enjoy those moments like there's no tomorrow because, son, it just may not be for you or me. Because life ain't never been no crystal stair. Life is keeping your hands where they can see them. Life is not fitting the description. Life is being in the wrong place even though that place is your own home. Life is following directions yet in pain and being told that you're resisting. Life is face down with the life taken out of you as you call for your mother to please save you. Life is a mother constantly providing instructions of how to act in public so you're not considered a target, and modifying those instructions due to failed attempts of life being spared because someone wasn't heartless. So boy, listen to me when I tell you to stay close. I'm doing all that I can to protect you from those. Those people who never wanted us here in the first place, because they were taught to judge me by my face. So son, be what you can be. Learn what you must learn. Do what you can do. And multiply all of that times 2. Because you have to be the greatest of all time when it comes to living your truth. Hey, black child, you are my son, and I am your mother. Life for us ain't no crystal stair, but we got each other. And always know, mommy loves you, and our bond won't ever tear or falter. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed every piece that was shared. I know I did. I was super excited and I was like so hyped when they sent me all their pieces. But I was like, yes. They were so relatable and you could feel the passion in every word that they spoke. So I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. You can follow us on Instagram as well at All Black Everything. And don't forget to stay bold, loyal, admirable, and quirky, and support black businesses. Thank you.